Hello everyone, my name is Owen, and today we'll be looking at a theory I've sculpted about the puppet combo game Feed Me Billy. Feel free to take a seat, grab a snack and drink. Let's get into this. Feed Me Billy is a horror game released in 2018 where you play as the killer, Billy, committing 6 murders throughout multiple nights and feeding the bodies to an entity called The Hole. So, today we're going to discover what Billy's true identity is in the Puppet Combo timeline. And by the way, what you're looking at right now is The Hole. Billy appears to be an adult male of unspecified age, we'll get back to that later, race, height, and weight. He wears a blue boiler suit similar to that of Neo-Colossus Burr, shoes, gloves, a clown mask with a hat. Billy lives in a small apartment and drives a pickup truck. It appears that Billy is part of a religious cult that worships The Hole. One interesting thing I find is that the mask that Billy wears is very similar to the face of Bongo the Clown, a possessed doll that chases you through the corridors of the old nunnery in Nun Massacre. According to my research in my previous video, Nun Massacre takes place in around the early 70s. Another game linked to Nun Massacre, however, is Christmas Massacre, which I figured took place in the early 50s.
Okay, I'm just recording this bit in post, but my footage loves getting corrupted. So for the next bit, I'll try and only do this in a few takes, and there won't be as much editing as normal. Sorry about that. Moving on. For the sake of the theory, we will make out these dates as estimates. So, for the theory, we will say that Christmas Massacre takes place in the year 1950. Okay, so hear me out. This is kind of where the theory gets to the kind of, crackpot section. I think Billy, from Feed Me Billy, is actually Billy Johnson from Babysitter Bloodbath. Hear me out. In my original video, I said the Babysitter Bloodbath takes place in the mid to late 70s, but I've come to change my mind and say that it takes place in the year 1950. I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know the story of Babysitter Bloodbath, but there's a serial killer with the name of Burr, and he has escaped a hospital in Monroe and is on a killing spree. Billy Johnson, the child that you're babysitting in this game, is around the age of 12, as he's a preteen. After you, the player, kill Burr, supposedly, you find Billy hiding, and he's traumatized, and then the two of you escape together. From this point onwards, the rest of this is completely speculation. This is what I think happened to Billy afterwards. When the police search the house, Burr's body is nowhere to be found. I believe that Billy's parents were terrified by this idea, and they decided to send him off to a nunnery very far away to protect him from Burr ever returning again. At this point, Billy stayed in the nunnery for a few months. He's made friends. Then, it's Christmas Eve, and he's been invited to a Christmas party downstairs, held by one of the nuns. Everything seems to be going well, until a crazed child wearing a Santa hat and mask storms in with a knife and murders everyone. This child that murders everyone is called Bill, and is the main protagonist of Christmas Massacre, another game in a Puppet Combo timeline. So, I would describe this as the point where I would put my tinfoil hat on. Within Puppet Combo games, things such as the supernatural, aliens, possession, and resurrection are not uncommon, and I believe this is exactly what happened to Billy. I believe that he was resurrected. Who resurrected Billy? Well, I believe it to be Bongo the Clown. I believe that Bongo the Clown may be possibly possessed by the child of Miss McDonald, and that Bongo the Clown pitied the dead Billy Johnson, choosing to resurrect him. In homage to his savior, Billy stole the face of one of the Bongo the Clowns and used it as a mask to hide his true identity, as he was now presumed dead. Billy later left the nunnery, no longer a boy. The physical, mental, and environmental stress caused Billy to slowly spiral down an inescapable hole, and he started to have mental problems. Later, a few years down the road, Billy became roped in with a religious cult and started worshipping a deity called The Hole. Around this time, Billy started to develop schizophrenia, seeing illusions of The Hole within his closet and seeing clones of himself too. The year is now 1970. Billy is 32 years old now. We know this because of the flashlight Billy uses when going out at night, the type of revolver he uses for shooting, and the type of phone he has in his apartment, where he receives calls and audio messages from the cult. It appears that there are only a few things that Billy does now: murder and feed The Hole when it asks for fresh meat, and watch erotic softcore workout videos. Over the course of the next few nights, Billy goes out and murders 6 people and feeds them to The Hole. On a more serious note, this game has a lot in common with the story of David Berkowitz. I can't say that name. David was an American serial killer who only used a revolver, just like Billy. He also killed 6 people, just like Billy. According to David, his neighbor's possessed demon dog told him to kill, also similar to The Hole telling Billy to give it meat. At the end of Feed Me Billy, once Billy has fed The Hole 6 bodies, it becomes satisfied, and a goat seemingly made out of red raw flesh arises from the hole, and text claiming all done appears, and then the game abruptly ends. I believe The Hole to merely be a side effect of Billy's schizophrenia. However, there is new evidence I will cover in a later video, which may debunk that. But I believe it is causing him to hallucinate the cult's deity and hear it talking to him. We know he is hallucinating, because one time in the game, we can see inside the room where the hole would be, usually, but it's just a storage closet with boxes and multiple blue boiler suits similar to that Burr's clothing in Babysitter Bloodbath. Maybe Billy took inspiration from Burr. I'm also going to speculate that Billy and or the cult cannibalizes their victims. I believe this to be true, as Billy, when he murdered a woman, the next day she is nowhere to be found in the closet where the hole would supposedly be, making me think that he ate her. I believe this to be a mental coping mechanism in Billy's head, so he doesn't feel extreme guilt whenever he cannibalizes another human being. And the weird flesh goat that comes out the hole at the end? I believe this to also be another side effect of Billy's schizophrenia. Okay, so here's a quick recap of Billy's life. Billy was born in 1938, he's traumatized by Burr, the serial killer, in 1950. He's sent to an nunnery for protection, that doesn't really end well, he's later killed that year. Billy is then resurrected by Bonger the Clown, he joins a cult, he develops schizophrenia, the year is now 1970, and Billy cannibalizes 6 people. Also, I do realise that Billy appears as the villain in Evil Clowns, however, I believe the game to be non-canon in the timeline, so that's why I've not included it. If I ever do a remake of the timeline video, I would reposition Babysitter Bloodbath to be at 1950 and add Feed Me Billy to the timeline at the year 1970. So yeah, that's my theory. Do you think it's true? Leave your opinions down in the comments below. Do I think this crackpot theory is true? Maybe. The resurrection part seems a bit far-fetched in my opinion though, but I guess we'll find out more information in Feed Me More Billy whenever that game is released in the next, 100 years. But yeah, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Puppet Combo based games, or horror game theories, please leave your suggestions down in the comments. My name is Owen, I've been your host today, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.